I think we are live now. The box is green. Got to make sure everything is up and running, and got to make sure that we've got audio and video. Candy Overhauls is in the house, and she is the best one for that. Whew. Yeah, of course, like every single week, mad scramble there at the end. I don't see anyone saying anything in the chat. So are we not live? Are we live? That I do not know.
I don't see anything.
It's
online.
on, let's see. It's on the, Okay, it's on here. This is weird. So, oh, there we are. Okay, somebody said live now. You are good. Okay. Well,
I don't see it.
that was a little bit confusing.
I'm gonna have to
There it
get
is.
out and
Okay.
Come back in.
I think there it is. I don't know. This is weird.
Well, it's saying it's live, but I don't see us on here.
Okay. So, seeing and hearing you. Okay, I guess we're good. I don't know what the I don't know what I was freaking out about. I don't know. I'm still not at that place yet where I just push the button and I know it's going to be okay. I'm just not there yet. So, okay. Hopefully we're all good. Yeah, there we go. Everybody's saying loud and clear. There we go.
I don't know.
Before we do anything, I want to surprise you with something here. Don't freak out. It's nothing
Just
weird.
ignore me because I'm trying to get everything straight on my tablet.
There was a comment that came through earlier that I feel like it needs to be shown right off the bat, right when we're getting started here.
I didn't see it. Did I?
You probably didn't because you were in there getting ready. The comment reads, I get more excited for KG Tropical's live stream every week more than Game of Thrones.
Whoa. No way.
Now, first of all, Game of Thrones isn't on anymore, so maybe that's why. But I don't know that there's a bigger compliment.
No.
It's like, okay, we can retire now. We've done everything we need to do. We don't
I
need
know
to.
exactly how it feels to get excited about Game of Thrones, and that's a big deal.
Yeah, that's that. When I saw that, I said, okay, that's a great way to start a live stream. So, also, hopefully, we've got the audio issues with Lisa taken care of because last week she was very quiet. Did some adjustments and told her she needs to hold the microphone, or not
I
hold the
learned
microphone.
I have to talk into the microphone.
Well, you don't need to be silly about it, but you need to be closer to it. You were way out here last week, and it was not good.
It
So
just doesn't seem like it's supposed to be right in my face, though. I guess that's why. So,
I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. This is all stuff that we have to kind of learn on the fly, just like the cat who has a bottle cap she's playing with. So this ought to be entertaining. So, all right, let's get our stuff together here.
Let's get started.
And let's get on with this because there is so much to talk about. I did jot down some notes here. If this is your first time joining us, we have a cat in the room, just so you know. We do this every single Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hang on. I love you, but this can't be a thing. We do this every Thursday at 9 p.m., and it's usually much more professional than this. But,
I wouldn't go that far.
well, every Thursday we get together. We talk about what's going on in our fish room. That is an ever-evolving project. We talk about what's happening in the fish keeping world. And then we have a main topic that we discuss every single week. Today is going to be dominated by the beautiful Marie here in front of you. I should just start calling you Lisa Marie. That way it makes more sense for everybody. But she is going to be the one that's going to dominate the topic today, which is a good thing because a lot of people complain that I never let you talk.
I might get a whole 5 minutes in, you guys, so.
No, you're going to get a whole lot more than that. So, but if you are someone who doesn't appreciate this long form stuff, you don't like this rambling on and us talking about all kinds of stuff, and you just want the main substance of this live stream, the main topic, don't worry. Don't go running off. Don't go unsubscribing from the channel. I am going to upload the main topic tomorrow. I'm going to take this this live stream. I'm going to edit it down to just the main topic, and I'm going to re-upload that tomorrow. But don't anybody get scared. I had a couple of people last week comment, no, don't delete the live stream. No. What we're doing tonight is here, and it's going to be here to stay, and it's going to be there for all of the people to unsubscribe from. But I'm not talking about touching that. I'm just talking about re-uploading the main topic. The interesting thing is, last week, more people watched that video than they did the live stream. So I guess it is something that makes a lot of sense to do that. So
I want to cut in and say thank you very much, Fish Tank Barn, Mike. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Mike is my guy.
I'm like, now that I have to talk into this microphone, like right in my face, it's like I'm looking at that instead of the camera. It's so weird.
Well, you get used to it. I mean, you don't have to be quite so exaggerated with it, but, just
I want
talk
people
into
to
the
hear
microphone.
me.
Yeah. You have a low voice anyway, and if I have to turn you up a little bit, that sounded weird, but if I have to turn you up, turn your volume up, I can do that. I don't know if I can do it while we are streaming, but I can do it. So what's going on here? First things first, I have to mention Candy is the best, and she put up the link to our Patreon, something we just started, folks, and there's been a lot of people that have joined up on it already. If you appreciate what we're doing and you want to support our work, go over there and maybe consider being a patron. We're going to have all kinds of fun on there, doing special things on there that we're not going to be doing here. So that will be a lot of fun. While you're talking, I'm going to have to get the list of the new patrons that we have to shout out today. But anyway, head over there if you want to support our work. Very much appreciated. And you should be able to turn up the volume. Okay. Chewy chiming in because he knows. He's the smartest person on the planet.
He is. Chewy knows. He's awesome.
So for what's going on, of course, I'm going to be pretty long-winded. So I want to give it to you first. I want you, because you've had a lot going on this week. You've got some stuff behind you. You've got some stuff in there. There's stuff going on. So why don't you talk about what you've done this week, and then we'll go to me.
Okay, let me talk. Okay, I'll stop being a smarty pants. What did I do this week? Gosh, I've done so much I can't even remember. I got some White Cloud minnows, and they're cute. Check them out. What else? Padre got his tank set up this week, so I don't think you can see Padre. Which way am I going? I'm so sorry. I am so confused here. Okay, Padre is over. Ugh, crap.
Wow, look at the light on that tank. That's
Right there.
That's a challenge.
Can they see it? No, you can't.
No, not really.
I'm sorry. Anyways, I set up Padre's tank, so he's ready to go. And one of these days, I will get used to what's right and what's left, and I'll be able to point like a pro. No, I probably won't. So another thing, I got a few more plants. I took some plants out of my 75. I added a few more plants to my 75, so I'm excited about that. You can see... I can't even see myself because I'm probably 10 seconds behind when I look at my tablet, so I can't even tell which way I'm going because you have the good screen. So anyways, over here in the corner, I put some plants in my 75. What else?
The little white things in there.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I went shopping because I like to shop, and I didn't realize I had a package in the mail when I went shopping for this particular fish, and I bought some guppies. And I wanted another tank of guppies. So I got some new guppies. They're pretty. They're nice. They're yellow, orange. They're pretty.
They're right there behind you.
Yeah.
In that 10-gallon right over her
I can't even point to it.
right shoulder.
Anyway, we had a package in the mail, and it was more guppies from Kang Lee, Twin Cities Guppies, and I got some more of those, and they're so gorgeous. Oh my gosh. If I had known, I wouldn't have even wasted. Yeah, it was a surprise. What can I say? It was a surprise. I didn't know it was coming. So anyways, I've got lots of guppies. Love my guppies. I'm excited to have all these guppies. I have tanks to escape. Boy, do I have tanks to escape. John doesn't even know about some of the tanks I plan on escaping. But that's going to be a lot of fun. Also, I've decided to take over another 125 for a special project. John does know about that, but I don't think I'm going to share that with you guys yet. I do have a 125 specifically for discus that I'm going to be setting up. It's not going to be scaped like plants and all that. I'm going to keep it pretty plain because the discus are so beautiful. I don't feel like you need a lot in a tank. You don't need a lot of fancy plants and stuff in a tank because the discus are the decoration. But that, I'm definitely going to have that tank soon. That's going to be one of the 125s. The other 125 is my secret tank. You guys, I think you're going to be surprised. You're going to love it. And I can't wait to do that one and show it and share it. Anyway, what else, John?
Well,
I have. I know what else. I took the African cichlids out of John's tank from the office, and I stuck them in the 240 because I feel like, you know what? Why should they be crammed in a 75-gallon when they have a 240 out here ready to swim around in and, just have a blast? So what did I do? I had to put something in the 75-gallon, right? I mean, it can't be empty, so I put a goldfish in the 75-gallon. So we have a 75-gallon with my special goldfish that I named Stevie, and she loves it, and she's doing wonderful. And so there you go. I've pretty much taken over every tank in the house. But honestly, if you were to add up the amount of gallons of water per tank, John still has more water or more gallons of water, whatever. He has more aquarium space than I do. I just kind of have more tanks. So, yep, that's what it is.
yeah, I don't know if I do yet because you've taken both 75s and all those nanos and you got 4 tanks still in the house. So I don't know right now, but when I get into, is this really happening? When I get into my what's going on segment, we'll have to talk about that. But before I get into that, got to thank King and Queen Cichlids. They're here. They're making their presence known.
Thank you so much, Scott and Liz.
And they love the Lisa KG Tropical Show. Yeah. I love it too. It's going to be fun for me.
Hey, when I can talk and not let him butt in, I can really take over talking. That's for sure.
It's really hard. I'm not going to lie. It's hard for me not to butt in, especially when, the best thing about doing this.
Look, hi, Rob. Hi, Pam.
Doing this with both of us, when you're talking, it gives me the opportunity to look at the chat, and I'll see something in the chat, and I'm like, oh, I got to say something. So anyway, somebody did ask about the guppies from Twin City Guppies. Excuse me. They are the albino blue tails. He sent some more of the ones that we already had, which is great. Because I emailed him, you asked me to, because we lost one female. We lost a female.
I did, and I felt so bad about that.
And she has become obsessed over breeding these fish. We do have quite a few babies in there now. I emailed Kang Lee and I messaged him. I said, hey, dude, they're not on your website, but do you have any more of those albino blue tails? And he's like, yeah, I'll send you some. I'm like, no, wait a minute. That's not what I was trying to do here.
And I had no idea this was happening. I did say something to John about it, but I was kind of surprised. I didn't know it was going to happen so quick.
Yeah, it did happen quick. And you know what? They are 2 beautiful people over there, and I just adore them. Oh my gosh,
I feel so bad for Kang Lee's sister, Sunia. I think I said her name right. She just lost her poor doggy this week, so I feel horrible for her.
Yep, that is a shame. So, okay, I didn't even know about that. So you're dropping a bomb on me here. So for my what's going on segment, we got a lot to talk about, and yes, we are going to get to the second part of the title of this stream. We're going to get there in just a second. Don't be scared. Don't be afraid. But for what's going on for me, I mean, everything that happened with her has happened with me too. I'm going to go ahead and put this on me so that you can look down and not pay attention and relax. But the two biggest things that happened with me, as far as what's going on this week, one is I just found out that I won the auction for the Levon Hernandez. I'm just kidding. And it was it Levon Hernandez? I put in a bid on eBay for a bobblehead, and I just got the notification that I won. But anyway, that's not what it's all about. No, I found out about the new 8-foot tank, the 400 gallon. It's not 400 gallons, but I'm just going to keep calling it 400 gallons, even though every time I do that, people put in the comments, an 8x3x2 tank is not, it's three, whatever. I'm just going to call it 400s. Add the sump to it, and it's 400. So I got the notification. It is coming, and it is actually already in town. Not in town. It's in the next town over. So the way Custom Aquariums does this, and if you don't know, I am a retailer for Custom Aquariums, which is the company that built this tank and built the new one that I'm getting. The way they do it, they will deliver an aquarium straight to your house, as long as it is a certain size or not over a certain size. If a tank is over 8 feet, it can't fit on the lift gate on the back of a box truck. Basically, that's what it is. So they can't deliver that to your house. If they're going to deliver a tank like they did this one, I've got a video of it on the channel. They wheel the tank out with a pallet jack. It's all crated up, and they put it on a lift gate, and they lift it down or lower it down to the ground. They can't do that with a tank that's either over 8 feet long, or a certain depth also has something to do with that. So in that case, they have to deliver it to a warehouse or a loading dock, and that is the responsibility of the customer to get it from that loading dock to the house. Now, if you're somebody that's entertaining the idea of buying a large tank like this, and that's not something that you want to do, you certainly can hire a company to bring it to your, I mean, it would cost a fortune, I'm sure, but you could do that if you wanted to. For me, we are just going to go ahead and go get it. Now, the fact that we live in the country does not help because there are no transit warehouses or terminals or anything like that that are in our immediate town where we're from. So we have to go to the next town over, and it was delivered to Stafford, Virginia, which is the next town. It's going to take us 40 minutes to get there or whatever. I went to the warehouse today. They have it. I didn't see it, but they have it, and it's there. We're going to go pick it up tomorrow. That's the plan. And as far as my plan for how we're going to do it, because this tank weighs like 650 pounds bone dry, I know what a struggle we had with this one. The way we're going to do it is like this. We're going to put the tank in the back of I almost said the back seat of the truck. In the bed of my truck, I have a Dodge Ram. We're going to put it in the back of there, and then we're going to put the stand in the back of my van, drive it all home, put the stand in here right there, and then I'm going to move all of this out of the way. If you've seen the vlog,
John's going to do it all by himself.
Yeah, really, yeah. If you've seen the vlog, you know how I have this all set up here. The table's in the middle of the room, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to move all of that out of the way and back my truck up into this garage, right up to the stand. And me and 4 or 5 other people will slide it off directly onto the stand. That's the hope. I do have the suction cups coming too, so that'll help. But yeah, that's the plan, and hopefully it all goes to plan. I don't see why it wouldn't. I mean, it's not that complicated of a thing here. A lot of people are talking about lag, and then a lot of people are talking it's not lagging. So I'm just going to keep on going because the box is green for me. So that's the biggest thing that I have going on. And then I was fortunate that she moved the fish over here for me. And I got news on those also. I didn't want to say the name or anything because whatever. I mean, I just didn't. But we are going to be working with Live Fish Direct again. And if you don't know who they are, then you probably don't keep African cichlids. But they are one of the best retailers on the planet as far as ordering fish and having them shipped to you. When we were breeding fish, we bought all of our breeders from Live Fish Direct. I mean, they are a fantastic company. I have worked with them in the past, and it is amazing. They are sending me fish for this tank, and originally they were going to show up tomorrow, which, of course, we're going to be a little busy tomorrow. So I emailed him, and I said, hey, can we make it for Saturday? I know it costs extra. That's fine. It's no big deal. And it turns out we're actually going to do it next week. But the fish are going to get here probably, should be Wednesday. She will unbox them. She will get footage of all of that. And she will show that to you on something. I don't know. So next week, for next week's Tank Talk Live, not only will you be looking at a 400-gallon tank right here, but you'll also be looking at this tank full of peacocks and haps. So that is very exciting. I couldn't be more excited about it. So that's the exciting things that are going on in the fish room. You look like you want to interrupt me before I go into the main thing. Okay. So this is going to be the hard part. This is the difficult part of this conversation here, because I've been trying to wrap my brain around how to announce this without it sounding like the end of the world. And so I'm going to do it as brief as possible. I think that's probably the best way. The title of this stream is Keeping a Successful Beta Sorority, and then is 10 Things Over. I don't even know if you were aware of that I put that on there, and that I planned on announcing that today. So the answer to the question, is 10 Things Over, is yes. It is. But it is 10 Things Season 1 that's over. I could go real deep in this, and I could explain all these different reasons why. But the real deal is we are going to go ahead and call the episode that we uploaded on Sunday, which nobody's watched. We're going to call that the finale of 10 Things Season 1. 10 Things Season 2, don't despair. I hope there's a lot of people that are really upset by what I just said. I hope there's a lot of people, because that would make me feel good. I don't want you to be upset, but it would make me feel good that people are upset that that series, the season, is over. But don't worry about it, because 10 Things Season 2, I got us on 2 now, by the way.
Oh, okay.
That will premiere September 1st. So we're only talking about like 6 weeks.
Yeah.
It's not that long. But the reason why this is happening is really quite simple. When we started, when I came up with the idea, of course, I'm not the first person to ever think of doing a 10 things list on YouTube. It's been done a million times. But when I came up with the idea of her and I doing these videos together and making it a series and doing it, different topics every single week, you can attest to this. I have never been more excited about anything on YouTube.
Oh, you were super excited. Yeah, definitely.
I couldn't sleep. I was so excited about it. We put our heart and soul into those videos. We started releasing them in December, and they did fine. Yeah. I mean, they weren't like breaking any records or anything. But I had explained to you from the very beginning, when I first had the idea to do this, I said, look, it's not going to blow up the second we start uploading those videos. It's going to take a little bit of time to build momentum, and then it'll do really well, and we'll be able to reach out and touch a lot of people. And I'd like to go ahead and take the credit that that's exactly what happened. It took a little bit, couple of months, and then all of a sudden, boom, it was like it went into another stratosphere. We had never experienced anything like that. We got thousands and thousands and thousands of new subscribers from it, and the views were absolutely way beyond anything that we had ever experienced in the past. The cat is going crazy. And what happened after that was it actually became stressful.
No, it wasn't for me. It was definitely for John, though, because he does all the editing stuff.
You probably wouldn't understand this unless you too are also a YouTuber. It's probably a total of 20 hours, 18 to 20 hours total, start to finish, that we put into those videos. Between the research, what is she? I can't even think. I feel like an old man. What's all that racket? So between the research and the writing and the shooting and the editing and all of that, probably 18 to 20 hours per episode. And I love it. Don't misunderstand me, but it's a lot of work. And when you add to that the pressure of, we got all these views, we've got one that's about to hit 500,000 views. That's insane. We've got to keep this going. We got to keep the momentum going. The analogy I like to use is M. Night Shyamalan, which you probably have no clue who that is, but you've seen his movies. If you are a movie fan, you know who M. Night Shyamalan is, and you know that he is the writer and director of The Sixth Sense. He had all the time in the world, and he wrote one of the best movies I've seen in my lifetime. I love The Sixth Sense. It was cinematic brilliance. Then he came out with like 3 or 4 bombs in a row between The Village and it just Unbreakable. It was okay. I don't even know if you even saw it.
No, I don't think I did, actually.
I like it because it's kind of a superhero movie, but anyway.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
He stepped back, he took a little bit of a break, and what did he do? He came out with Signs, which in my opinion is another absolutely great movie by him. Followed it up.
Signs was good, yeah. I like
Signs.
Signs
Was great.
Yeah, that
it was
good.
awesome.
I like that a lot.
And he followed that up with what? The Happening and Lady in the Water, which are 2 of the dumbest movies I've ever seen in my life.
I've never even seen them. I never even heard of them.
Well, you don't even worry about it. Don't waste that time. You'll never get that time back. The point that I'm trying to make is when he had time to regroup and focus and put all of his attention onto what he's doing, he writes masterpieces. Have you seen Split? How many years was it before he came out with Split? He had a lot of time to write Split. That is a fantastic movie. So it's like he would come out with a great one, and then, can't something be done about the Bam Bam Jerk? What's the Bam Bam Jerk? Oh, Candy's on it. Whoever that is.
He said that I had sexual relations with black guys in high school.
Oh, that's the guy that was on here last year. Would that have been a problem? I mean, would that have been a bad thing? What? Anyway.
Honestly, I mean, I'm going to be honest here. Not that it really matters because this is a fish related YouTube channel, but I never dated a black guy. But if I did, who cares?
Right. Why would it matter?
Why would it matter?
So the point that I'm making is when M. Night Shyamalan had all the time in the world, he wrote masterpieces like The Sixth Sense, Signs, and Split. When he was rushed and he had all that pressure to create the next 10 things, the next Signs or the next Sixth Sense, he dropped bombs. They were terrible. And I love M. Night Shyamalan. I wish he would walk right in here. I'd interview him. He's a hero of mine. I love the guy. But those are some terrible movies.
I would never get a word in if he did.
No, you might as well go to bed. But the kind of course, I'm nowhere near M. Night Shyamalan's level. Come on, let's be real here. But the analogy fits because it's the same kind of a thing that happened to me. I was so overly focused on wanting to replicate that success. I understand that there are certainly other YouTube channels, but other fish channels as well that get way more views than those videos do. And it's a routine for them to get that many views. I get that. But for us, that was a really big deal. It was finally us kind of breaking through and realizing that we had figured out this YouTube thing. Mm-hmm. And so I've been going to her for a couple of weeks now. I've been talking to her about this frustration that I have, that I'm afraid that 10 Things is dying. Nobody's watching it. Nobody loves it anymore. The reason why nobody loves it anymore is because I'm not focusing enough on it. I'm not putting in the fun little creative things, the movie clips and the silly jokes and the things like that. And
that's because the hard drive thing, I think, really
well, that had a lot to do with it,
down.
sure.
It had
but
a lot to do with
that
it.
happened right in the middle of all this, though. So it didn't help, that's for sure. So we've been discussing it, like, what are we going to do to fix this? And we came up with the solution on Monday, just 3 days ago. The solution being we are going to take a break from it. Yeah. We love this series of videos way too much.
I need to go shopping for pink shirts.
Yeah. I need to get some more black ones. So we're not giving up on it, of course not. In fact, it's the exact opposite, because I swear to you, I could show you the text messages that her and I exchanged back and forth when we made this decision that we were going to end season 1 and start up season 2 on September 1st. It was literally within like 15 minutes. We already had our first 6 topics.
Oh my gosh. I think 8 maybe?
It's insane. And we both were having this mental block that we could not get over it. We could not think of new topics. We could not think of anything to do with this series. It was dead. And as soon as that pressure was off, as soon as the pressure was released, boom, 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 we came up with all of these different topics.
I actually came up with 10 things for is it the very first one for season 2, or is it the second one? I think it's the second one, yeah.
Arowanas.
No, I did it for the second one. The reason why is because the first one for season 2 is going to be about arowanas, because you're going to have them.
Oh, we're going to flip-flop them?
Yeah,
okay.
because the second one, I'm not 100% sure, because that's my part.
But we know what they're going to be. We just
Right.
don't know what order they're going to be.
Right.
But we know one of them's going to be arowanas. Spoiler alert. So it already has had a huge impact on us. And what it's going to allow us to do is regroup, re-energize, refocus, and get our heads wrapped around this series again and commit to it the way we were. It's not like we lost commitment to it. We were all in with 10 things. The problem was it just became too overwhelming. And sure, the fact that I work 70 hours a week and the fact that we're building a fish room and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that adds to it too. But it's still, that is and always will be, I believe, our priority on this channel is 10 things. Absolutely love it. And it is our passion.
So much fun.
So King and Queens is just sending us like,
Wow.
are you going to be all right paying rent this month, Scott?
Wow.
Good grief.
Everybody is too. But
It's all hitting
dang,
all at
Scott.
once. So that's the big thing. I'll get to those in a second. But that's the big announcement with 10 Things. 10 Things is certainly not over. But season 1 is, in fact, in the bag. And I wish I knew that we were going to do that before we put up that episode on Sunday, which I thought you did fantastic in that video, by the way. It's a shame that it hasn't gotten the views that all of the other ones do.
Are
That-
you
that-
wait, the last one?
Yeah, the
Sorry,
end.
I was reading the chat. I wasn't paying attention.
The end that you did with the dog and the cat and the baby and the
that
teenager.
was so fun.
Amazing. If you haven't seen that yet, folks, you got to
I was
check it out.
like, Let me go grab the dog. Let me grab the cat.
That was
I was like,
brilliant.
what did you do? I was like, having a blast.
If I knew that was going to be the end of season 1, I would have said it in that video. We're going to take a brief break. We're going to be back September 1st, but I didn't know. We didn't make the decision literally until the day after that video went live. So if you are a subscriber and you are specifically subscribed for 10 Things, you're not watching this, but if you are, don't go anywhere. And also for everyone else, don't worry, there will be videos on Sundays to fill the gap, but they're not going to be 10 Things videos. I've got the fluval filters that I need to do the video on. I got the current light. I've got the new aquarium. Then I've got the vlogs and all that. So we've got plenty of content that's going to be coming out, and some of it will upload on Sundays. So you're still going to get something from us on Sundays. It's just that for the next 6 weeks, 7 weeks, it's not going to be 10 Things. So, but when we come back with 10 Things, September 1st, buckle up because it's going to be huge because we're 100% all in. It's go time. So there you go. Now, let me thank these super chats. Gregory Peck, isn't that like a legendary actor? I mean, he's a fan of our channel now. That's wonderful. And I'm sure that's not the real guy, but thank you so much. No, nothing said. Just here's my $5. Red Raven. That's a cool name. Love you guys. Can you help out Big Al's aquarium? Thomas and Brian work hard. They are cool. Just check out their channel. Sure, I'll check them out. I'm not going to do it at the moment. Kind of busy, but we'll do it a little later. I've heard of Big Al's, though. Are they having problems? I don't know what's going on there. And then Scott and Liz, I mean, they're our favorites. I told Scott the other day, I didn't even talk to you about it. I told him, I was like, y'all got to get down here and we'll do streams together and all this. And he was like, I'll talk to the boss and then I will let you know. So I haven't heard anything about it yet, but he's throwing us all kinds of money today, coming in with the $20. He wanted to make sure that orange oval stayed up there for a long time. John, as cool as the other side of the pillow, you can't trigger him. 100% respect. No, you absolutely can't.
Thank you guys, everybody.
Yeah, you gotta go hard to offend me and get me to fly off the handle. So anyway, all right.
Actually,
that wasn't a dig at you, Scott, either, by the way.
Yeah, because I was watching the live stream on Sunday. I didn't say anything because I was a little busy and couldn't respond or type up anything. But Scott, I saw you get a little triggered. Yep, I saw you get a little triggered. You know what?
It is easy. But you know what? I've got so much other stuff to worry about. I'm not going to worry about that thing. And I think what Scott happened with him that day, and I don't want to spend time on it because I don't want to make him look bad. Everybody has done what he did.
Oh, yeah.
It was one of those things where it rubbed him the wrong way, and it was the heat of the moment. And you know what? We all have that. And I would feel sorry for that guy if that guy had said it to Scott's face, because he started pulling the sleeves up and everything, and I was like, man, it's good. It's go time now. This guy's getting ready to throw down. What you have to ask yourself, not only Scott, but anybody, if you're ever dealing with internet drama, internet trolls and all that kind of stuff, just ask yourself, if we were in person, would that joker say that to my face? And I guarantee you 99.9% of the time, the answer is no. That's how you get through it. That's how you don't let that kind of stuff bother you. And that wasn't even a troll compliment. The guy was actually complimenting Scott. He just read it the wrong way, and it happens. So, okay. Now, I don't think we have anything else to update anyone on. Which is why I pay the $20. It's a lesson well learned. Hey, you ought to get mad more often. You're gonna get mad and throw money at us. Let's start talking bad about Scott.
Maybe we should troll him.
You better watch out on Sunday night. I'm gonna start throwing bombs your way. So, all right. So beta sororities. That is the topic today, and I am excited because I love hearing you talk about this kind of stuff, and it's going to be fun. I am going to kick back. I'm not going to kick the hard drive off the desk.
Let me put this down a little.
Loyal followers would understand where that joke was going. I'm going to turn the camera over to her, and she's going to talk to you for a little bit about beta sororities. She's got experience in this, folks.
Okay, well, I wouldn't say I have years and years and years of experience, but I have a little experience. And gosh, it's so hard to even decide where to start here because there's a lot to know about beta sororities. And I feel like if you're a new fish keeper, you probably shouldn't try to go that route. Definitely not. I would say to start, if you've never kept a fish, or if you have kept fish but you've never kept beta, let's just say you've never kept beta, get a beta. Get two. Put them in two different tanks. Watch them. Observe them. See how they, just watch them every day. Watch their eating habits, how they come up to you and greet you, and, just pay attention to them and do it for a while. If you're really serious about getting a beta sorority, plan ahead, get as much research as you can. And I don't mean just on YouTube, because honestly, one of the things that I have found that has helped me a lot with betas is not just or let me say a beta sorority, is not just learning about a beta sorority, but learning about the beta first. And I didn't get all my research from YouTube, because why would I do that? I want to get my research from other ways, other content. So yes, I Googled, I bought books. I have several books that I bought. I don't know, can you see it?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Several books. I read magazines. We are subscribed to Tropical Fish. There's all kinds of magazines. There's all kinds of places to get your information as far as betas and beta sorority. But like I said, the most important thing you want to do is know about betas. Know about them, know about their diet, because once you know about that fish in particular, it's a little bit easier to do a beta sorority. Now, another thing that I like to use gosh, I can't even say the word analogy. Sorry, I just couldn't get it out. I like to use an analogy. I compare sort of a beta sorority tank to keeping an all-male African cichlid tank. Now, I can talk all day about an African cichlid tank, an all-male African cichlid tank, and Buna tank, and whatnot. And one of the things I tried to do is kind of compare the two, but instead of having an all-male beta tank, you're going to have an all-male female tank. And just because females can go together, it doesn't mean that they're not aggressive. Female beta are also aggressive, but they're a little bit less, I guess you could say. But you have to know how to introduce them to a tank. When you want to start a beta sorority tank, like I said, plan ahead. Don't just put one in and another one in and then add another one. Go ahead and get your tank set up. I would say preferably a 20-gallon. A lot of people start with 10, but if you're going to do it right, get a 20-gallon. And I would say a minimum would be 5, but for a 20-gallon, some people would argue with me because they would say, oh, you can't put more than 5 in a 20, but I think it would be okay to put like 7 or 8. Now, I'm probably going to get a lot of crap for that, but the more you have, the less aggression there is. Sort of like with African cichlids. The more you have going on, the less there is to have a bully picking on a couple. You know what I mean? So like if you have a few of them, or how do I put this? If you have, say, a 20-gallon with 7, 8 betas in there, you're not going to have so much of a bully picking on just one. And let's say you do have one. Now, do you remove the bully or do you remove the weaker fish? What I would do is first, I would probably move things around just like I would an African cichlid tank. Move things around, see if that works first. And if it doesn't, then just remove the bully. That's what I would do. Another thing is you want to have plenty of plants. Lots of plants, like tall plants, short plants, plenty of caves or little, what do you call them, like coconut hut things or something. They like to have their own space, just like African cichlids. You want to have plenty of hiding spaces. And I wouldn't put plants in an African cichlid tank. And I'm sorry if I keep comparing the two because some people aren't here for nobody's here for African cichlids, you're here for beta. But what I'm trying to say is, if you give them enough space, if you put the right amount in, and you do it all at one time, I think it's very important to add them all at one time, not one at a time, and you give them a proper diet, you should have a very successful community tank or beta community sorority tank. And when I say community as well, because some people put dithers in, you could put dither fish in, and that helps. Like maybe for a 30-gallon, you could add, say, 7, 8, 9 beta and put some neon tetras in there to help kind of break it up a little bit. That'll help keep them not focus so much on each other. And that's just, like I said, that's my opinion. I have found that things like this work for me. I have a beta community or a beta sorority. I want to keep saying community because I keep thinking of something else I plan on doing soon. But I have a beta sorority, and I probably have it a little bit more overstocked than what I should, but that's because I bought 8 baby girl betas. They were very small, and I set up a 15-gallon, and I planted it pretty well, I guess. At least I think it's playing it pretty well.
They are the fish on the thumbnail, by the way.
Yes. Also, I have a plant I have a lot of these plants growing all over my house, and I snip them and I root them. They're philodendron, something like that. Anyways, they do really well. They grow fast, and I take them and I stick them in the top of my beta tank, and the roots come down, and the betas just love swimming through them. So I mean, that's another idea if you want to do something like that. Say you only have some of the shorter plants and you don't have any plants that are taller yet, you can always do something like that because the roots come down and they help, and the beta really love that. Another thing is proper diet. You don't want to feed your beta the exact same thing all the time. That's just boring, and they're not going to thrive that way. And another thing is, if you're not happy with what you eat, aren't you going to get a little angry? I mean, I would. So I like to give my beta, I have it right here. If I'm going to use a pellet, I don't really use a beta pellet. I don't like the beta pellets because they're so big and they're kind of fat, and it's like, how does the beta even get that in their mouth? I use the tropical formula for small fish bug bites. And I'm not advertising for these people either. I'm just telling you, that's what I use because the pellets are so tiny that I find that the beta can eat them better and they digest them better. I haven't had any of them get constipated or anything because of it. I also use like a tropical flake. I use bloodworms, a frozen bloodworm, and frozen mysis. And then once a week, I fast them. I don't feed them on Sundays. And also another very important thing is, go ahead, give them a frozen pea. That doesn't hurt anything. It helps their digestive system, and it keeps things moving along. Because one of the last things you want to do is get confused. Is your female beta, egg bound? Or is she constipated? Does she have dropsy? So one of the things that's important is to have a proper diet. That way you know that they're digesting the right way, and you can rule that out. Let's see. Clean water, that's super important. You're gonna have more fish in a tank. You think just because they're small, they don't go to the bathroom a lot. Well, they do. You wanna keep their water clean because there is that chance they could rip one of their fins. Maybe they did get in a little scuffle that you don't know about, but let's just say they rip a fin on something sharp in the tank. If you have clean water, you don't have to worry about a bacterial infection setting in, and that is super important because the last thing you want to do is worry about something like fin rot or just anything bad like that in general. So clean water, proper diet, have the right amount of them in a tank, lots of plants or hiding spots. Keep an eye on them, and always, always, always have a backup tank. Even two backup tanks is great, but for sure one. Because if you do have that bully and you have to take them out, then what are you going to do with them? You're not going to put them in a vase, right? No, you want to put them in a tank, give them a great life too. But you need to be prepared, because even if it's not a bully, you might have a fish that gets sick and just needs to be treated. Things happen. So when you get a beta sorority going, have a backup tank, plan ahead, do your research, and hopefully you can have a successful beta sorority or beta sorority community tank. Is there anything you'd like to say?
Well, since I did, but then you said
heat,
it at the end.
the temperature. I'm just going to add one more thing. Just to stay comfortable, keep it between 74 and 78. Give them a little bit of leeway, because if there is a chance that they might get sick for some reason, or let's just say they get ick, or they need the temperature raised a little bit, you have room to go, because they can be put in tanks a teeny bit warmer if need be, but you don't want to do that if you don't have to. So, did you want to say anything now?
Well,
no, just one more thing. No, just kidding.
I was going to talk about the backup, but then you said that at the end, which is good. And I would add to that a little bit and say, have plenty of backups. I mean, one of the key things to fish keeping, not just keeping a beta sorority or keeping betas or anything, one of the key best pieces of advice for fish keeping in general is always have a backup plan. Always know what you're going to do. So I think the best plan for a beta sorority is have somewhere to put all of them in case something goes wrong. I mean, I know that's completely overkill, but you're not going to get a tank and put 65 female betas in there. I mean, that's not going to happen. I'm sure it's been done, but that's not going to happen. You're going to have 5 or 6 of them. So, have something that you can do to separate all 5 or 6 of them if you need to. That would be the only thing that I would add. And it could even be the tanks that have the built-in dividers that are made for beta tanks and stuff like that.
I don't like those.
Well, not the really teeny ones. I'm not talking about those, but I'm talking about the ones that are a decent size. But yeah, I think you did well. I think you hit all of the marks. That's very good. I did not write that for her, folks. That is all her.
Why would you write it for me?
Well, because I write 10 things.
I do research. I love beta. I love looking things up about them, because there's so many different kinds, and I think they're fascinating little fish. I never thought I would get into beta like I have, but I mean, they're great. And you can do it. You can do it successfully. You shouldn't be scared to do it, but you should definitely be aware of the consequences. And I think it's probably one of the worst things you could do is set up a sorority tank and add them one at a time. I really think that is the worst thing you could do, because there's going to be that one that's already decided they're going to be the queen of the tank, and anybody that comes in, they're going to want to bully them a little bit. So my advice would always be to, if you're going to set up a tank, plan it and then do it. Do it all at once. Put them all in at one time. Let them find their rooms, space, whatever, and do it all at one time. Again, that's what we would do with African cichlids, and it's so funny that I keep going back to that, but I feel like it's very similar. It's very, very similar.
That was the only other thing I was going to add too, is that it is very similar, because what are you afraid of? You're not afraid of having to feed this fish one thing and that fish the other thing. You're feeding them all the same food every feeding. You're worried about the aggression. I mean, they're called Siamese fighting fish for a reason. And yeah, the females are maybe not as instantaneous killers as the males are, but they can still do their share of damage. And you got to keep an eye on that. So that's, I don't know what else needs to be said. That's the biggest thing, is have a plan, know what you're getting into, and know what you're going to do if things go wrong. And
And
we've
don't-
got plenty of places to put
Yeah, I
bettas.
mean-
So
Like I said, get to know the betta first. Get to know bettas in general first. Don't just say, hey, those are cool fish. A lot of them are cheap. I can get the females cheaper. Let me just go do this for the heck of it. I won't lose a lot if I do it. No, that's not the way to look at it. Do your research, and if possible, get 1 or 2 betta first and observe them so you know how they are, what kind of fish they are, because they're actually beautiful, personable fish just by themselves. So
well, and what I love about that tank that we have in there is that they're all so different.
oh yeah,
I mean, their fins are different, their colors are different, their personalities. We've got a pretty good group in there that their personalities are all pretty much the same. And you're hitting it on the head when you talk about them being so similar to keeping an all-male African cichlid tank, because it really is. You walk up to the tank and they all come up to the top ready to eat and all of this. Their behavior is very similar. They're just little teeny tiny fish. So it is similar, but I don't think it's as difficult. I mean, because there's going to be fighting in an all-male African cichlid tank. It is going to happen.
oh definitely.
You could get lucky.
yeah.
I mean, we haven't had any major issues. You had one get its fins nipped up a little bit in that tank,
I
but
think it was like the first week or two, and that's bound to happen. I mean, if it's gonna happen, it would be like the first week or so. And what I did was, since I noticed that the aggression went away from that fish, I didn't remove it, but I did add some like Melafix and some aquarium salt to help the other fish's fins heal, and it did real quick, and it's fine now.
somebody asked, is the Betta sorority coming out here? The answer is absolutely yes. I don't know if we're going to bring the 2 tanks that we have. If you haven't seen it, look it up. It's actually a really cool tank from Aqueon. You bought it at Petco right down the street. Mm-hmm. It's a 15-gallon column tank, so it's really tall and narrow. And we've got 2 of those, and one on each side of our TV. So it looks really cool in there. But I've been trying to convince her to bring those out here. I don't know where we would put them, but you're going to go with either the 75.
Tanks will come out here. I can't guarantee the fish will be in those tanks when they come out here.
They're going to be guppy tanks.
Yeah,
That's the plan.
The bettas will be going in something else bigger, because that was the plan all along, not to keep them as adult females in the 15. So.
Yep, very good. So yeah, that's awesome. You did a great job on that. You got just as in depth as I would, and I tend to go too far in depth. So that is today's main topic. Look at that. We did what's going on. We did the main topic, and it hasn't even been an hour. That's amazing.
That's because I get to the point and I talk about what I need to talk about, and I'm a little long-winded, but I will get it all out there.
Rafael Santos says, "Nice job, woman."
Thank you. Thank you, Raphael.
Know any cheap 10 to 15 gallon tank kits with stands? Yeah, the one I just said. What's it like? 100 and how much was it?
Oh my gosh, there was a sale. The tank I actually got for probably $69.99, and then the stand cost more. Go figure. But it was some sale that they had.
But I think
it wasn't any more than $150.
Yeah,
and it came with the
everything.
came with the filter, the heater, all of it. I'm not really happy with Aqueon right now.
Oh, please
I'm
do
gonna be
tell.
honest. I'm really a little upset with Aqueon, and it may not just be Aqueon. I haven't paid as much attention to this, and I'm sure it's other companies too, but Aqueon in particular, I'm a little upset with them. And if they're watching, I'm upset with you. Have you looked at their boxes, the boxes that the aquariums come in, the setups? I was at Petco today, and that's another funny story. I was at Petco today, and I was talking to the guy that works there, and he was like, "Oh yeah, we're taking all of these little 2.5 gallon and 1 gallon tanks off the shelf, and we're making this our plant section." And I was like, "Yay!" Because I can't stand those little tiny things. But one of their tanks. The 2.5 gallon Aqueon tank, on the box, it showed a goldfish. I mean, are you serious? A goldfish? I was already upset because I had seen some of the boxes that had the aquariums in it for a 10 gallon and it had a goldfish in it. And I was like, what are they thinking? A goldfish for a 10 gallon? So when I saw that 2.5 gallon one, I was like really shook. I was so upset about that.
The answer to that is because goldfish attract the kids. We took a lot of heat
put them
for
on
that.
a bigger box, a bigger tank or whatever, but not a 2.5 gallon, not a 10 gallon. That really bothered me a lot.
Yeah, I mean, that's the industry that we're in. I mean, that's unfortunately, it's all too common. And you know what? The other thing that I saw, and I don't know if it was Petco or PetSmart. We love those stores, by the way. I mean, I'm not one of those people that neither one of us are going to be trashing those stores. I think that they have their place. If you don't shop at a Petco or a PetSmart, I bet you go to Walmart. I'm not saying you go there to get your pet supplies or your fish supplies, but it's like, for some reason, those stores have this stigma that they are like the cheap stuff, but they sell all the same stuff as everybody else. But they had a sign on the tank. You said it's been there for a while. I saw it for the first time on Sunday that says you can put female betas together. No information. It's just, did you know you can put female betas together?
Yeah.
Thought that was kind of surprising when I saw that.
Somebody could have gone home and put 2 female betas together. Not really a fan of that, just because I don't think that's a good idea. Even 3, I don't find it a good idea at all.
The more the merrier. Don't go crazy with it, though. I mean, somebody said they buy their supplies at Walmart. There's nothing wrong with saying that. What I'm saying is Walmart is a discount store. Everybody knows that. And so is PetSmart and Petco. And I can understand if you want to avoid those stores and not buy fish at those stores. I kind of get that. But I mean, as far as all the dry goods, they sell all the exact same stuff as everybody else.
I don't blame Petco for that. I mean, I was happy to see that they were taking it down, Now,
good.
I don't know if they were moving it to another shelf, but...
You know what? They probably are, because they probably sell so many of those things. I guarantee you.
That's a shame.
I don't have any data on this. Corey might. I mean, did you see the big giant beta setup that he just put in his store? I guarantee you those big box stores, I would be willing to bet that 50% of the income that comes from the fish department is strictly about betas. I'd be willing to bet that. Beta tanks, beta food, beta fish, all the water conditioners, all of that have little betas on them. I guarantee you. And next would probably be goldfish. So, they probably sell too many of them to get them off the shelves. They got to keep them on the shelf because they're making them too much money.
Yeah, I mean, nickels and dimes.
So what's next? We're going to turn it over to the chat? Not before we thank Allie Patton.
Oh, of course.
Thanks again for the awesome live stream. Great delivery,
Thank
Lisa.
you, Allie.
# pink shirt funds.
Thank you.
That's adorable.
Can't have too many pink shirts, that's for sure.
She wanted me to paint that wall that's behind her pink.
Yeah.
And I refused to do it. I said, I will do no such thing.
Wow.
Because come on. I mean, that would look silly. Goof. So we're going to turn it over to y'all now. I suppose I never even got to talk to you about doing John's World and Lisa's World. I'll tell you what, let's do that. You might not even be prepared for it because I didn't talk to you about it. But I can do a John's World today. Okay. The segment where we talk about something that has nothing to do with fish. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I'm going to give you, fine people that are watching this, the opportunity to put your questions in the chat. Everybody knows I'm not a very good question answerer when it comes to being put on the spot, but we'll give it a shot. I got the smart one here with me, so she can definitely help me out with that. So I could talk about bobbleheads. I could do that. I could talk about the fact that I'm literally having baseball withdrawals this week because it's All-Star week. But I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about something different that happened to me that I didn't even talk to you about. And that is how sad this world is getting. I'm not going to talk politics and all that because I don't get involved in all that garbage. I'm going to tell you something that happened to me the other day when I went to McDonald's. Shocker, John goes to McDonald's, right? Go to McDonald's. I had a $10... Okay, look. My meal was $6.54.
Did you get a Big Mac meal again?
No, it was a bacon McDouble. It was $6.54, I think. So I gave the kid, bless him, this kid was, just bless him.
Oh, no.
I gave the kid probably his first job, probably 16, if not 15. I gave him a $10 bill and 64 cents. And he takes that, and it's very confusing to him. And he puts it all in there. And then he looks up at me and he says, I only have 2 ones. Would you mind if I gave you 2 ones and 8 quarters? Because he owed me $4 because I gave him $10.64. My bill was $6.54. And I said, well, I just gave you that change because I'm tired of my pockets jingling around and trying to get rid of change. So how about this? How about let's do this instead? I'm going to give you another $1. I totally screwed this kid up.
To get a $5 bill.
I said, how about I give you this $1 and then you just give me 5 back? And he takes the $1 and he's like, I'm not sure I can do that. And there's all these people in line behind me and they're all laughing. I'm kind of feeling bad for the kid. He's staring at it like, I have no idea what to do. You're giving me more money. I don't get this. And I said, it's very simple, man. You owe me $4. I'm going to give you this $1. Now you owe me 5. So your problem with running low on ones just got a little better because I'm giving you another one, and all you got to do is give me a $5 bill. Do you have a $5 bill in there?
No,
He says,
don't
yeah.
tell me he called the manager.
No, he was like, he couldn't speak. He was totally overwhelmed by this, and he couldn't figure it out. He couldn't figure out what to do with that. And so I finally was like, all right, man, just go ahead, give me my $1 back. And then he gave me the 8 quarters and all of that. And I'm like, whatever, no big deal. I mean, it's not like I was going to cause a scene, but everybody, there was a FedEx guy standing at the counter, this big giant guy. And he looks over and he says to me, the kid had already walked away. And he says to me, he says, that's where our world's going right now. And I said, look, I didn't say anything to the guy. I just said, yeah, it's pretty sad. But I thought about it later. And what I realized is the reason why he couldn't do that is because the machine didn't tell him to. Yeah. The machine told him, you owe him $4. It didn't say anything about 5. Right. And you're going to put another $1 in here and you're going to, I don't understand. The machine didn't tell him to do that. Therefore, he could not wrap his brain around it. And that's why I said this world is sad. It's not because of that kid. I mean, a lot of kids would have made that mistake because the machine's not telling me. It's the fact that all of us are so dependent on getting our information from somewhere. We don't have to use our brains. I'm going to be honest with you. I know 2 telephone numbers. 2. I know yours and I know mine. I don't know any of the kids' phone numbers. I don't know
either.
I don't know my mother's.
Because I need yours so that I can put it in for the Petco rewards.
I know yours, but I don't even know if I know it's right. Of course, I'm not going to say it because then bling, bling, people will be calling. All these people thinking they can steal you away from me. But I know your number and I know mine. And that's it. I know no one's phone numbers. I don't need to know a number. I click on the picture and the call goes through. I don't need that. I don't need to remember birthdays because Mark Zuckerberg tells me when it's somebody's birthday. I don't need to remember anything, and none of us do. I don't need to know directions because I've got GPS. It's very sad, and I am just as guilty of it as anyone else. I promise you that. It's just very sad how dependent we have become on these little devices and machines telling us everything that we need to do. It's very, very sad. And it concerns me greatly. So there you go. Do you have something?
Home ec. We need home ec. Why did they take home ec out of schools? Kids don't know how to boil water. And we're going to send them out in the world at 18. They don't know how to feed themselves. They don't know how to sew a button on if a button falls off. I don't want my kids coming back to me and saying, feed me and sew my button on. Teach the home ec, you know? Stop taking that out of the school system.
We don't have to use our brains, and I'm just as guilty of this. When I'm not doing YouTube stuff, when I'm not working, when I'm not surrounded by 12 people in the room, because we've got so many freaking people that live in this house, I'm thinking about bobbleheads.
Really?
I'm thinking about watching a baseball game. I don't need to know anything. I mean, it's crazy.
I'm thinking about cats and stuff. I don't know why.
I know why, because you're a crazy person. That's why.
Yeah, whatever.
Have I ever seen a UFO? I have not. I've got ghost stories, but I have not. I have not seen a UFO. Do you know where I could buy betas from a breeder? This way, I know more about the betas I'm buying. No, I don't, Sarah, the psycho equestrian, because I don't know who you are. I don't know where you live. A quick Google search will do it. I'm assuming you're talking about a local person. You're going to have to do some digging for that. I don't know any beta breeders either. So the school I teach at has divided home ec into culinary arts, fashion, and family science. Wow. What kinda fish should I get fit a 20-gallon tank? I want schooling fish. Look right behind her. Now, some people are not a fan of the white clouds, but I love them. Look how active they are.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the tank. I wish I could point to it, but I can't. The tank that is got the bright green plant in the corner. It's a fake plant, by the way. Lisa still uses fake plants.
No, it's just that one tank, and it's because I just got them and I hadn't set that tank up the way I wanted it to yet. It was just cycle.
Well, and you also did that because it covers up that filter on the bottom to keep the white clouds from going in there. But white clouds are always very active. They're all over the place. I also really, really like chili rasboras. I like red-eyed tetras. I like serpe tetras. Of course, neon tetras, cardinal tetras. Love all of those. Get you 5 serpe tetras. Get you 5 chili rasboras, and put you 5 or 6 Corys in there. You got it made. You're good to go. I second the ghost story. I love ghosts. I'm not telling a ghost story. I'm not doing all that. Are you crazy? I had an experience that, maybe later on we'll get into it.
Bugman 215. I wonder who that is.
I know who that is, and he told me yesterday he owes me one. And,
Katie loves your cat, Lisa. Well, you know what? You two need to come. Actually, you 3 need to come over, and you can meet my kitties.
And kill the spiders.
Yes, the spiders.
He reminded me yesterday, folks that don't know this, the gentleman in the chat, Bugman215, is my good friend that lives here in town, and he's the one that currently has my, well, it's not mine, it's his now, the 24-gallon fluval reef tank. I didn't mean to say it's mine. It's his.
Yeah,
I gave it to him, and I don't know how we got in touch with each other yesterday, but I said to him, man, well, I got a serious spider problem here, and he said, well, I do owe you one because of the saltwater tank.
I didn't know he owed us one.
I didn't know either until he reminded me. He could have never owed me anything.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have known. Did you find your lemon Oscars? Not yet. I tell you what we did see, though. I came really close to spending a lot of money. When we went...
And I almost encouraged him, too,
She
but
did.
he was really good. I was shocked, so...
When we were on our way to the fish store on Sunday, she wanted to get her white clouds, and she wanted to get whatever else she got. I don't know. We went to a store, and they were at least 14 inches, 14-inch blue arowanas. Now, if you've never heard of blue arowanas, don't get excited. They're not bright blue arowanas. They're silver arowanas with a hint of blue like in their fins, but they're not Like you see a super red arowana and it's red. You see an RTG, it's gold with the red tail. But blue arowanas are not like that. They're not blue, but they are gorgeous fish. And these fish were absolutely beautiful.
They really were.
And they were $259 a piece.
And I was like, but they're so pretty. And he said, but I can't see spending that much money. And I was like, okay.
I knew the 400-gallon was coming, and that's obviously where the arowanas, that's the whole reason I'm getting it is for arowanas. And I said, those blues sure would look nice. I mean, and they were the right size, because I don't want to get 4-inch arowanas and put them in a 400-gallon tank. I mean, that would look a little bit ridiculous. It would look even smaller than the white clouds do in that 13-gallon.
All over my face now.
But I want to get them that are 12, 14 inches or so. I've had a couple of people email me and say, hey, I've got a 24-inch arowana. You can have it. It's outgrown my tank. I don't want to do that. All due respect, thank you to the people who have offered that. I want to get 2 that are smaller that can grow together. I mean, that's the way that we have had success with keeping arowanas as a group, is putting them in, not when they're this big, but when they're 12, 14 inches, and just letting them come up together. It doesn't guarantee anything. I do not believe in the whole idea that if a fish grows up together, they're not going to eat each other. That's absolutely not true. You put a guppy with an Oscar and they're both the same size. 6 months later, the Oscar's going to be able to fit that guppy in his mouth. And guess what? The guppy's going to get eaten. So I don't believe in, if they grow up, they're going to be friends and they're never going to fight each other or eat each other. No, that's not the case. But with arowanas, I do think that the younger they are when you put them together, and the more similar they are in size, the more likely you are to have success with that. And so I really wanted them.
That's what I was saying about the Betta sorority, you know, if you start them off small, you know.
I really wanted those blues, though. They were absolutely just beautiful. And to be totally honest, I probably could have gotten a discount, because I have promoted this store quite a bit. They know us in there. But I'm like, whatever. I mean, what would the discount have been? Maybe 20%. We would have saved maybe $50. I'm still dropping over $450 on 2 fish. Whew, I don't know that I could do that. But you know what? It would have been nice. And my plan was, okay, well, we're ready to move the peacocks into there. So we'll move the peacocks into there. I'll put the arowanas in the 75-gallon, and they'll be in that tank for 2 weeks. And then we'll have the 400 up and running and ready to go. So they're in a 55-gallon tank right now at the fish store. So they would have been fine in the 75-gallon for a few weeks. But no, I just couldn't see myself dropping that much. I've seen so many over a foot arowanas that are for sale, like silver arowanas that are like $100. I mean, that's what I'm looking for. And then Matoro stingrays, those are going to be a couple hundred a piece, depending on where we get them. And then back to the original question, lemon Oscars. No, I have not found them yet.
I did.
You
that
did?
One time at House of Tropicals.
It was not House of Tropicals, Elizabeth Welch. House of Tropicals is where Lisa found the lemon Oscars.
Yeah.
But that was like 4 months ago. And
it was in January.
7 months ago.
Yeah.
And they were gorgeous too. I put footage of them up on quite a few 10 Things episodes. In fact, I think I even used those lemon Oscars in a thumbnail once. They're absolutely beautiful, but we haven't found them since, and that's a shame. And I went into one pet store, and I asked the guy, I'm like, hey, do you ever get lemon Oscars in here? And he's like, I've never seen lemon Oscars. And this was the owner of the store. So anyway, yeah, I couldn't spend $250 on a fish either. That's dog prices. Yeah, not Chihuahuas. Yeah, I mean, if I had a lot of money that I could just throw around, I would have paid it. They were worth it. I'm not saying that the fish weren't worth that. They were gorgeous. I just couldn't see doing that, because I'm talking about a minimum of probably $600 just for the 2 arowanas and the 2 stingrays. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to buy bargain basement stingrays. They're probably going to be at least a couple hundred a piece. So, Yeah, just dropping 500 on 2 arowanas, I don't know. Ever been to fish stores in Maryland? Yeah, the one I'm talking about is, in fact, in Maryland. Someday I will have a Murphy Maboo Puffer is my dream fish. They are very, very cool. And this particular fish store on Sunday had a bunch of those, and they looked terrible. But anyway.
Oh, yeah, they did. I think they... Anyways, I was going to say, I think really the only fish I thought that looked really good was
the arowanas. Yeah.
And I don't want to disrespect a fish store, so I'll keep my opinion to myself.
I would love a tank of zebra plecos. Yeah, that would look pretty good. Let's see. John, that's the price for my college football season tickets. Yeah, I mean, that is a lot. $500. It's a lot. But you know what? If we could get Asian arowanas, I'd be buying those and I'd be paying like $2,500 a piece. I'd take out a second mortgage. I would finance one of the kids. I would do something.
Speaking of kids, I forgot my daughter today.
Mm-hmm.
John messaged
Speaking
me and
of which,
said...
did somebody pick her up?
I think David did. John messaged me at 5 o'clock. He said, "Did you forget Kenzie?" I said, yes. She had to be at work at 5 o'clock. This is my 17-year-old, not a 4-year-old small child. But yeah, I have never in my life ever forgot one of my kids or anything that had to do with their activities or anything. I've always been on top of it, but I was in a crisis. I was in crisis mode. I had a situation where I rescued another betta. And all I could think about was that. And so when I got out of the store and I got in the car and I read his text, I was like, wow, I forgot my kid over a fish. I did. I totally forgot my kid over a fish today. It's never happened. I thought I was doing something good, but I was becoming a neglectful parent. So, yep, I did that.
It's a horrible, horrible person. Has Lisa's cat ever tried to ever eat your fish? First of all, that's my cat. That gray one is mine. And no, because we have very firm lids on all of these tanks. And no, she ain't getting in there. But it is definitely something we've been aware of, and we are going to make sure it does not happen.
I'm pretty sure she's my cat because I change the litter boxes and I feed them and I give them all the care that they need. You pet her, you're like...
Yeah, well, I make the money to buy the litter, so who cares? So that's going to get me in trouble tonight, isn't it?
He's going to get in a lot of trouble over that one.
I'm screwed. I might as well hang out with y'all all night tonight. Somebody said, how much does an arowana setup cost? If it depends on whether you want to do it my way or you want to do it the way you want to do it. Because, I mean, you can set up a tank for an arowana for $100, but it's not going to be the right one. If you want to do it right, get them a nice big 8-foot tank. The tank that I'm getting, we're going to talk about money with that tank when I do the video on that tank. It's a pretty hefty amount. We're talking about a 400-gallon aquarium, glass aquarium, 8 feet long, 3 feet deep, 2 feet tall, with a stand, with filtration. It's big money. So, but I've been doing this a long time. The arowanas are my absolute favorite fish. They have been since I started fish keeping. So it's worth it to me to put all the money into it. But here's a secret. I bought an 8-foot long 8x2x2, which is 240 gallons, which has been in several of my videos. Probably 60 of my videos have that tank in it. I don't have it anymore. I bought that tank off of Craigslist for $100, and the guy had it advertised as a $150. And there were pictures on Craigslist. I looked at the pictures and I was like, looks awfully big for a $150. And when I showed up, he had it like in the back of a nail salon, empty, just sitting on the floor. And he's like, there it is. And I'm like,
are you sure that wasn't the 240?
That's what I said.
Oh, I thought you said the 150.
No, he advertised it as a 150. He had it listed with the pictures and said 150-gallon fish tank. So I show up thinking I'm going to buy a 150-gallon tank.
I'll never forget that day. That was crazy.
And I was like, oh, that ain't a 150, but I ain't telling him.
I don't think he cared. He just wanted it out of the shop.
Yeah, and I mean, it was in bad shape. I had to do some work on it. The plastic trim was broken and stuff like that. But, it was no big deal. I got it all fixed up, and that tank served me well for like 5 years. So, yeah, and that was $100 off of Craigslist. Do people even go on Craigslist anymore if they're not looking for like hookers or whatever?
Oh, that got weird.
I hear that on the radio. I've never done that. Obviously, I've never done that. Give me a break. Yeah, the awkward silence now. Let's see. I have long-fin zebra danios with my beta sorority. They actually break up spats between the beta girls. Yeah, and somebody said, I have a few danios. How do you feel about them? I love danios. I absolutely love them because I love the constant activity. They are so spastic compared to all other fish. And I love that. I absolutely love how active they are and how just enthusiastic they are. I've gotten 3 female rainbow fish, 2 tanks, with everything, with all for free by looking on the Nextdoor app. It works so well. That's cool.
Okay, I see one right here. I want to answer it. How important do you think temperature is for fish like beta? Some people keep them room temperature and they appear fine, but not sure. I would not do that with beta. I would monitor their temperature, keep them at 74 to 78 to be comfortable, because you don't want them to get stressed out because they're too cold. And I'm just assuming that it would be because they would get too cold, not the other way around. But definitely put a heater in there with them. Don't keep them at room temperature. Monitor their heat. It's important.
Todd Snake got a 1-week-old Fluval 406 off Craigslist for $25. See, the deals are there.
Oh, that's nice.
We bought so many tanks off Craigslist when we set up our breeding operation and set up our store. We bought so many tanks off of Craigslist.
I went on Craigslist because I thought, I found pretty much all of the tanks on Craigslist, and I was showing you. And we live in Virginia, and there was a deal on Craigslist. $10, was it $10 a tank? It didn't matter if it was a 10-gallon, a 20-gallon, a 55-gallon, a 75-gallon. If they were all $10 a tank,
No, they were a lot less than that.
Oh, $3 a tank.
Yeah, it was like $2 for the small ones and $3 for the 20s.
But the kicker of it all was it was in Kentucky. So we had to drive 10 miles there, rent 2 U-Hauls, and load.
10 miles, 10 hours. And it was...
I'm sorry.
It was Knoxville, Tennessee, not Kentucky. But go ahead.
I'm all confused. Jeez. Whatever. John, you tell the story.
I mean, you did tell the story correctly. You just got the prices wrong. You got the state wrong, the city wrong. All of that.
It was a fun time. What can I say? It's called Some of the Timers.
Some of the Timers. This was a guy that had rented a barn from an old guy on his farm, and he set up all of these tanks. He had like 500 tanks, and he set them all up in this guy's barn with a centralized filtration system and everything. And then he got cancer, and he basically abandoned it and left it. And I don't know if they let all the water evaporate out or if they just drained it all or what, but they sat in this barn for like 7 years, I think he said. And then the old man that owns the farm was going to take all the tanks and dig a hole with his backhoe and bury all of these tanks in the back. And his grandson, who was like 13, he was like, well, let me sell them.
Kid.
I don't remember his name, but that was that was 2012. But he said, well, let me sell them. And the old man said, okay, well, however many you sell, whatever you get from selling them, you can keep the money. So I think we paid $1,300, and it was like 400 tanks. I mean, it was a lot.
It was a lot of tanks.
Let's see here. I just lost all of my betas. About 50 fish lost in 3 weeks. Good Lord.
Oh, man.
They would be fine one day and die overnight. Not sure, but I think the heat got them. Huh. I mean, it is awfully hot. But you know what? My only rebuttal to that would be when they're breeding these fish in Indonesia and these areas that are super, super hot, you know, they're not having mass die-offs like that. So I'm not saying it wasn't the heat. Maybe your heat situation was way worse, but they're bred in some pretty daggone hot climates. So, but yeah, obviously something was major wrong to lose 50 fish. That's not, you know, you forgot to feed them. That's a serious,
that's really sad.
Serious issue going on there. What's your favorite gourami? I don't have a favorite gourami. I love gouramis.
I'm not a fan.
I mean, I love the little dwarfs and stuff like that, but yeah, I don't know that I have a favorite gourami. I mean, the giant gourami has to go on our list of the top 10 ugliest fish. It is an ugly, weird,
like the one at House of Tropical.
yes, alien-looking fish. But that's what makes it so cool. I'm not saying that in a bad way. It's so, there's so many fish that are just butt ugly. But that's what makes them cool. I'm sorry, folks. Blood parrots, ugly. They're very ugly. They look like mutants, but I love them because they're so ugly. So there's a lot of fish that we're going to put on that list that's going to get us a lot of hate.
Probably.
Because there's going to be a couple of goldfish on that list. There's going to be giant gouramis. Spoiler alert. There's going to be flower horns. People are going to probably lose their minds and be very upset with us. But
Well, now they're just not going to watch the video because you already talked about it.
But you got to see it because it'll be done in 10 things form, and we will be re-energized and refocused, and it's going to be wonderful. So,
Hey, you know what you forgot to do? You didn't do a shout out for the new Patreons.
I did not. Let's get to that. And I'm glad you brought that up because we also have some new channel members that I wanted to shout out. Asa Cadets, Kayla and John Crandall,
Okay.
Brandon Maxfield, Mary Angel, and Eric Fudge. What a great name. I wonder if that's your real name. Those are all new channel members. And then let me get back out here. I'm still moving my computer out here for every live stream. And when it's done, I'll be taking the computer back in there. And it's a huge hassle. And not enough people are joining us on Patreon to allow me to buy a new computer. Then wait a minute. Here we go. Do I have a list? Yeah, I don't know that they are. Let me see. I don't know which ones we have shouted out already and which ones we haven't.
So do them all. Who cares? They all
Well,
deserve
I know
it.
Candy Overhauls, as if she doesn't support us enough.
I know.
She just became a.
We should be paying Candy.
I know.
I mean, really? She's joining us on this? That's great. I mean, thank you, Candy.
Candy's the best. Candy Overhauls, Jack LaMountain or LaMountain. I'm not sure
I
how you
love
say
that
that.
name.
I do too. Katrina Shields, Christine Hodges. I believe those are the ones that have come on board in the last couple of days. So thank you very much for becoming
Let me
patrons.
make sure you didn't miss anybody because that would be so.
You know what I did?
Rude.
I'm going to tell you what I did with this live stream. I basically took this live stream off because I knew I was going to be talking about the new tank coming tomorrow. I knew I was going to be talking about the fish and the fact that we're going to take a break on 10 things till September 1st. Nobody panic if you didn't hear it. If you want to hear the whole explanation, watch the beginning of this stream once it goes back up. I knew I was going to be talking about that, and then it was going to be on you. So I just didn't do anything. Which I really should have put together the list of patrons and all that kind of stuff.
I think
So
you did good. I double checked.
there's Mama Cat out there now too, which nobody has seen yet. You haven't done a video about her yet.
I
Well,
haven't done a video recently on my channel, and it's just, she's so sweet. I know I need to do one. I really do. I need to do an update on Mama Cat and her baby because Rena's not really looking like a baby anymore. She's growing up.
She is.
But Mama Cat's doing good. She's doing so good. I think, though, that because I took the cone off of her, I left it on for 21 days instead of 10 days after her eye surgery. When I took it off, she just started, messing with it and rubbing it. And then the kitten, I started letting Rena around her again. And I think when it healed, it started to open a little. So it's almost like she winks at you a little bit with the one eye that got taken out. And so I don't believe it healed exactly the way it should have healed, but it's not infected. She's not upset. She's not complaining. And you just blew that smoke in my face.
Sorry, it's not smoke, it's vape.
Anyways, I believe that it's better to leave it alone because with her being FIV positive, the last thing I want to do is have another surgery or anything. It's strictly cosmetic. She's fine, so I'm gonna leave that alone. She's doing good though.
Red Raven came in with another Canadian $5. My mother and dad had a fish bowl with a goldfish when she was in labor and came home from the. Okay, wait a minute. I got it off there. When she was in labor and came home, the fish was found out of the tank. I'm 45 years old. Does she still have that fish 45 years later? Can you even imagine?
Wow, yeah.
That is.
Oh, wow.
I did have a similar story
Is
to
that what
that.
he was trying to say?
I'm not sure. I don't. This doesn't really apply to that because there was certainly no one in labor. But we had a common pleco at the shop that jumped out of one of our tanks when we were closed and we were home. Came in the next day
Oh, yeah.
and saw it sitting on the floor, upright, just like a pleco sits there, just sitting on the floor. And I was like, man, I reached down. This was probably 7 inches long. I reached down on the floor and grabbed this fish, and it was bone dry and hard as a brick. So I'm like, and that's what I assumed it was. I just assumed it was dead. I'm carrying it over to put it in a bag. It's too big to flush down the toilet. I was going to put it in a bag, and as I'm carrying it over, it wiggles in my hand. And I'm like, what? I put it in the tank, lived forever. I mean, we ended up selling that fish like 7 or 8 months later when we knew it was okay, but it was almost like it never skipped a beat. It was totally fine.
Those things are so hardy.
Unbelievable.
Gosh.
Candy remembers that story. Okay. I'll vape with you, John. Yeah, I am a vapor. A lot of people yell at me for that too.
I yell at you about that.
You just did, right in front of 200 and
Well, it
something
was right in
people.
my face.
How many people we got still on here? 218 people.
Our
They're
views
all,
on vaping are totally different. I think that if you don't need to vape, you shouldn't vape.
but I do need to, and you know
But
that.
I'm just saying, if you don't need to vape, don't start a bad habit. But if you need to get off of cigarettes or chewing tobacco, I think vaping is okay for a temporary solution to get off of it, but not for a permanent one. So we have different opinions on that, for sure.
We have different opinions on wine drinking too.
I like a little wine sometimes.
Yes, she does. I know you would not.
It's a fruit.
You would you would not think this, but it's absolutely true. I don't drink not even a drop. No, I'm not a recovering alcoholic. I just don't drink. I just don't like it. I don't like losing control. Who was it? Somebody said the other day, forfeiting control. I don't remember, something like that. Somebody was talking on YouTube about why they don't do drugs, and I think he said, I don't want to forfeit control. And I was like, that really sounds like what I've been trying to say for 20 years. I don't like doing things that's going to make me lose control of myself. So if you're a drinker, I'm not saying you're a bad person. Now, just for me, I don't drink. So I am that way with everything. We can have differing opinions and we can still be friends. That's the way.
I agree with
That's the way it works.
Full Moon Aquatics. Vape can work for those that, it's going so fast. Vape can work for those that want to quit smoking, but people can abuse it just like anything else. I agree 100%. I mean, everything can get abused. That's for sure. I said abused. I meant abused.
How you going to abuse vape? I mean, seriously. I smoke and drink and work, so... Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I work too, and I smoke vape, so we got a lot in common. I just don't drink alcohol, and it's the only reason. I just don't like it. So, all right, I guess it's 10:40 now. It's time to start winding things down. I really got to pee. I'm sitting over here dancing in my chair, so it is time to move on. And don't forget, tomorrow I will be uploading the clip of Lisa's Betta Sorority segment on here. So not going to delete this one. It's just going to be that. And then also, if you weren't listening in the beginning of the show tonight, we are putting a temporary hold on 10 Things. So there will not be a 10 Things episode on Sunday. The next episode of 10 Things will premiere September 1st. I don't know if I'm going to do the whole premiere feature thing on YouTube. I don't know. I mean, I like that. I think it's cute, but I don't know if that's what we are going to do. Dan, you don't need to keep saying popcorn lung. Come on. What are you reading articles from 5 years ago? Come on, dude.
I've told him, honestly.
Popcorn lung. That was so...
But it's a thing.
It's not a thing.
John knows everything, you guys.
I had a vaping channel, so I know everything. No, that was a thing that was from diacetyl, and it was a long time ago, and nobody's vaping that stuff anymore. So take the popcorn lung thing out of your brain. Thank you for looking out for me, Dan, but no, come on. Anyway, we are putting a temporary hold on 10 Things so that we can regroup, refocus, re-energize, taking the off season to get things back on track again and be able to deliver you the quality of content with 10 Things that we were in the very beginning. So be excited about that, please, because this is actually going to be a good thing. It's already been a good thing. So there still will be videos on Sundays. They're just not going to be 10 Things videos until we get to September 1st. Then we go back to doing 10 Things. So that is all I have to say. What else do you want to say?
What about the flog?
You're going to try to keep me in here so I pee my pants on Livestream, aren't you? The vlog is going to keep going up too. And you know what? Since you're going to put me on the spot like that, she is even talking about doing a vlog.
I was playing around and kind of doing a vlog thing myself. And it was so funny because I had fun with it. I mean, I don't think you guys want to see me go to Starbucks though, but you go with it?
It's because of the air conditioner. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that.
So anyways, if I did a vlog, it wouldn't be as fun as John's, but...
I've only done 2, and they weren't all that much fun. I'm still getting the swing of things.
But at least you had fish-related stuff in it. I think the most fish-related stuff I had in mind was unboxing the guppies. Yeah. And then the rest was all kinds of other stuff. It was like 5 minutes of unboxing and then 10 minutes of other stuff. Yeah. It was fun.
People are saying, Rack's saying I need a catheter. People are saying the running water must be murder on you right now. Yeah, I mean, I'm about to blow here. So it is time to close things up. So, but anyway, in all seriousness, thank you all so much for this. Thank you for sticking with us. And thank you for not unsubscribing because of this live stream.
The night's not over. I mean, we might have some unsubscribers by the end of the night. We'll check. We're going to check.
We'll definitely check because we always do. But this has been a lot of fun tonight. Big day for us tomorrow. Huge day.
Do you guys want me to record John running to the bathroom?
All right, you know what? I'm going to put it on you. I'm just going to go. It's yours now.
Are you serious?
Have fun. Yeah, it's yours now.
Bye. Have fun. All right, so there he goes. He is running. It'll be a while, too, because the bathroom is, like, up the stairs, around the corner. So he probably peed himself on the way. Alrighty, let's see here. Martin Cruz, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Thank you. Let me read some from the chat. Think about a water. Oh my gosh, you guys are funny. You need a bucket. Raising my glass for you. You're so sweet. When a man's got to go, he's got to go, and he's gone. He isn't even back yet. No, we have not. We have never had a silver hatchet fish. Dwayne Kitchell. So, what exact color of pink is that wall going to be, Lisa? I'd like to have a bright pink wall, but John said no. But that doesn't mean it's a real no. It's just at the time it's a no. Lisa, Kitty is on the bottom shelf. I know. You got to get the dogs out of here.
They're fine.
No, if they jump on and get my cats, your dogs are not going to be here tomorrow. I
They're
promise.
going to be fine. They freak out over the cats. Like, really?
How do I fix my female beta who are egg bound? Alex Dunaway, what I would start with is maybe upping the temperature a little bit. Hopefully that'll help maybe move things along. I guess I'm kind of thinking of it being like constipation, but eggs should absorb into their body. So if that didn't happen, maybe you should look at it. Maybe it's something else. It may not be egg bound. But the first thing I would start off with is like upping the temperature, making her comfortable. Hopefully, things will start moving along. It's really tough. Egg-bound fish are tough. I haven't had to go through that, but that's what I would start off with. And it's probably not a lot of help, so I do apologize for that. Let's see. Cool, the Lisa and John cat and dog show.
I mean, you're always holding the cats, so I figured, you know what?
I'm really not a fan of the dogs being out here, honestly. Chihuahuas are the meanest breed. I agree. They really are. Every time I come downstairs in the morning, they bite my ankles and lick my toes. Like I want my toes licked.
Talk about them like they're some kind of rabid dogs. Come
They're
on.
not bad.
Meanest
I'm just
breed.
kidding. They are mean, though. They can be mean. I'll never forget about a year ago, one of my cats came downstairs and they attacked it. They attacked it for no reason and just made him feel horrible and scared. And I was so mad about that. But let's see. Have you ever saw a 10 to 12 inch goldfish? Yeah, we've had goldfish bigger than that before when we had the fish store. So yeah, goldfish get huge. I had a Wawa and she was a baby. She loved everyone. I mean, Chihuahuas are good dogs, but they can be a little aggressive, and I don't trust them with my cats at all. I would never leave them alone. TK, love your live streams. Keep it up. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. And so does John. There he is. Sam Cropper, Max hates me and Tori. Max hates everybody. You know that. She's just a diva. She likes me and John. Let's see. Davis Stanley, have you ever had a yellow killifish? No, we have not ever had a yellow killifish.
We've never done killies at all.
I know. JJ, my Chihuahua goes after our husky. Your poor husky. I mean, poor thing. I love huskies now. They're beautiful.
Your husky needs to grow some balls.
Oh, I love huskies. Michael Young, you guys are awesome. Keep it up, please. Thank you so much. What
Alcohol. Arizona sweet tea.
Oh my God, all the sugar and caffeine.
Mm-hmm. I need it.
Let's see. Alien World Aquatics, Next Tank Jellyfish. No, I think I'll pass.
A lot of people have asked, though, if we're
Priscilla.
going to do
Hey,
another
Priscilla.
saltwater tank.
My Chihuahua is scared of a fly. Lucky. I wish ours were scared of flies. Actually, ours will eat flies. That's kind of fun to watch, but
They'll also eat bees.
Oh yeah, Max has been going after bees lately. Let's see.
You forgot a super chat.
I did. What?
TK.
No, I said thank you.
Oh, you did?
I sure did. You walked
Okay, my
away.
bad.
You were
I'm
worried
sorry.
about your dogs.
I am very sorry.
Jay's beta room. I'm getting a beer now so I can drink with you, John. John's drinking tea though, so but enjoy your beer.
Arizonas have human pee. No, there is that video of that guy spitting in one of those gallon jugs of it though. That new trend, and the only reason I know about it is because of Philip DeFranco. Those people are stupid. We live in a world full of stupid people that they're I don't even know if you know what I'm talking about. They're stupid teenagers going into grocery stores and
Yeah,
like
and the one licking
pulling
the ice cream.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
idiots,
that's
morons.
disgusting.
I mean, the only way that kind of thing is going to stop is if they just start getting beaten.
Beaten?
Just start beating those people.
Really?
Yeah.
Beaten?
Because then they won't spend
Yeah.
the rest of their life trying to be funny on social media.
Yeah.
Just beat them. Just beat them up. Hit them like that guy did to Ben, what was his name? That knockout in the UFC, like 5 second long.
Yeah. Violence is the key.
Yeah.
Violence is the key.
Ben, what's his name? Askren got knocked out in like 4 seconds over the weekend. Anyway, so, all right, are we going to wind this thing down or what? I don't have to pee anymore. But,
I do.
you
I
know,
have to pee.
Oh, really? So let's keep talking then. Let's have a nice conversation right now. Let's go ahead and just keep going for another 45 minutes. No, we do have to close up shop, though. It's almost 11 o'clock, and you don't even know if your kid's home. She might be sitting at the restaurant waiting for you to come pick her up.
She's at home. I looked, and there's no text or anything like "come get me." So David picked her up. I did ask David to pick her up. I double checked.
Good. The girl with the ice cream is facing 20 years in prison. Yeah, she ain't going to prison for 20 years. I mean, I hope she does. I mean, I don't want to see a girl playing a stupid prank go to jail for 20 years, but
Yeah.
something has to be done
She
to stop
needs
people from doing this
discipline,
stuff.
For sure. I'd rather see somebody that does a horrible thing to an animal go to jail for 20 years, and that never happens. It's like those people always get off. They can shoot BBs into cats' eyes and do all kinds of horrible things to animals and get away with it. But, you know, anyways, I'm getting off topic here. They're the ones that should go to jail for 20 years. A girl licking ice cream, the girl needs to get in a lot of trouble. I mean,
How about 2 years? 2 years. Send her away for 2
yeah,
years.
A young girl, that would be devastating. Absolutely devastating. But I
Priscilla-
think 20 years is going a little too far.
Priscilla, she took it off of took it out of the freezer at the grocery store, opened it, licked it with her stank tongue, and then put the lid back on and put it back in the shelf. That's what she did. And not only did she do that, but there's a ton of people doing that stupid stuff now.
Yeah.
And it's like this trend now, like the Tide Pods things were with all the stupid people that were doing that. If you are a Tide Pod person, you're a stupid person. I'm sorry. I mean, anybody who did that, these stupid, I need attention internet trends, they should just all be beaten. You don't even have to send them to prison. Just beat them. Because the reason why they act that way is because they weren't beaten as a kid anyway, which we didn't beat any of our kids. But it's
The abuse.
yeah. If you're gonna get ice cream, make sure it has the plastic thing on
Oh,
it.
yeah,
'Cause,
the plastic that goes around it. Absolutely. But that doesn't stop people in fast food. Have you ever thought about that? I really get scared when I go to fast food restaurants just because of the fact you don't know what's going on behind that drive-through window or whatever. You don't know what they're doing in the back. It's scary to think about.
Yeah, but the restaurants are usually kind of open. Like if somebody was going to spit on your food, somebody would see
all
it.
of them.
I don't know.
Sit there and throw a hamburger patty on the floor and step on it and put it back on your sandwich or something. Wrap it up and stick it in the bin to sell it.
Make them eat ice cream until they puke and do it on social media. And what you should probably also do, that was from Viper Express. I agree. But you should also be able to like throw snowballs at them while that's happening. And do it on social media so that everybody sees her idiot self getting pelted with snowballs while having to eat as much ice cream until she vomits. Yeah, that might do it. Cut her and all her tongues off. Wow. See, yeah, I mean, that's a little harsh, just a little.
I agree with Allie. They need to put down the ice cream and pick the Tide Pods back up again. Yeah. At least they're not hurting us, and that's disgusting.
I'm also glad that it's not like the knockout challenge and crap like that they were doing where people were actually getting hurt. I mean, this kind of thing is, it's just
true.
kids being morons, and it's unfortunate that we live in a world of morons. And you know what? We're going to be really old one day, and those kids are going to be the ones that are going to be taking care of us, and it scares the hell out of me because they're all idiots.
Yeah.
The ones that are that age now. Even the ones that we have in this house, they're idiots. They're just all of them.
No, they're good kids.
All of them are, but we love them. But anyway, I've been trying to do this for 20 minutes now, and you just won't let me. It has been almost 2 hours. We have a hard enough time as it is getting people to watch these on replay. The fact that it is almost 2 hours long is definitely not going to help that cause. But
sorry, I've just got to rambling tonight.
She did it on purpose because she knew I had to pee.
John is rubbing off on me. Like, these live streams are fun now. Wow.
They are fun, but it is almost 11, and
I know.
I worked all day, and
Oh yeah, I do nothing.
I didn't say you didn't do anything. I just said I worked all day, and I'm tired, and I'm going to start going like this pretty soon. So it's time to shut it down. But this really was fun. I could do this every day.
It was fun.
I could do it every single day. We could be like Ethan and Hila. Every day we could do this. This would be so much fun. I really
Candy
do
said
enjoy
goodnight
it.
in great big letters. Like, she's tired.
Yeah, she's ready to go too. I mean, she's
Yeah.
like, enough already, for crying out loud. We've been here all night. So it is time to shut it down here, folks. I do want to say once again, no 10 Things this Sunday, September 1st, premiere of 10 Things Season 2. It's coming, and it's going to be better than we've had it so far. It's going to be an amazing thing. The Beta Sorority clip will go up tomorrow morning. There will be a video on Sunday, and there will be a vlog on Wednesday. We're having so much fun with all of it. There's no way we're going to take a break from all of it. No way. So
Good night,
still going to
everybody.
get plenty of stuff from us.
Thank you for watching. I appreciate you sitting through me chatting away about the Beta Sorority. I hope I was able to help a few of you all out, and thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Candy, for everything you do for this channel, and thank you everybody else for your super chats and just being here and watching us. It was a great time. See you later.